Nigeria being one of the loudest, proudest, and most popping spots in Africa, the biggest black nation in the world. But back in the day, folks didn't even know where Nigeria was. Way before them colonizers touched down, Nigeria had its own food system going. Ancient kingdoms like Neri, Oyo, Benin, and Kanem-Bornu were flexing power with gold, art, trade, and structure, while Europe was still trying to figure out how to bake. The Benin bronzes stood as a masterpiece of world-class art. Oyo Empire had disciplined cavalry units moving like mini armies. Neri folks believed in peace and resolved conflict with wisdom instead of war. Bornu had centers of learning long before Oxford cracked open a book. The culture was rich, tight, and ahead of the curve. The other had deep knowledge, culture, and spiritual system way before them colonizers showed up. Ancient systems like Ifa defiation, Nancy BD writing, and the North culture's terracotta game showed Nigeria being had philosophy, science, and symbols before Europeans ever learned how to read. Fast forward to the 1400s, then Portuguese popped out the oceans like, "Hey guys, what you all go cooking?" And the next thing you know, boom, transatlantic slave trade popped off. Nigeria got scooped, brothers and sisters snatched, sold, shipped out, and scattered across the world. It was dark times for real. The trauma still in the soil, they ain't forget, but you don't see them going to therapy. Trade ain't just snatch bodies, it broke trust. Some local leaders selling folks for guns, gin, and mirrors. Thinking it was smart, whole kingdoms turned on each other. They ain't know they was feeding the fire that would burn them too. Now skip ahead a bit. After slave trade dimmed down a bit, the British came sliding in sleek. See, at first, they was on some, we just want to cherry type shit. But nah, the next thing you know, they started moving in weapons and fake diplomacy. They setting up protectorates left and right. Like that makes it better. North, South, Lagos, Britain had flags in everybody's backyards. When Benin Kingdom said, "We're not with that," Britain clapped back by touching the whole joint. They didn't just want to trade, they wanted total control. Once they smelled money, they went full landlord mode. Resistance was met with violence. They showed up with Bibles in one hand, cannons in the other, selling salvation while taking lands and lives. In 1861, Britain fully claimed Lagos as its crown colony, that they put it in their back pocket. That move wasn't just those vibes, it is about locking down the port and controlling trade for real. After that, they split the rest of the land like slices of suya. Northern protectorate up top, southern protectorate down low. Two different zones, two different styles of control, but same puppet strings. And while they were setting up shop, they figured out this split needed a name, something catchy for the empire, cause the Nigerian Royal Company territories and the Southern Protectorate sounded like a law firm that don't win no cases. Nobody was trying to say that long ass name every time they wrote a letter or drew a map. So in 1897, this British journalist chick named Flora Shaw, who later married Lord Lugard, called it Nigeria, putting the name for the Niger River that cut through the land and the surrounding area, Niger area. Just like that, a whole people got labeled off the river. By 1914, the Brits merged the north and south zones and called the whole thing Nigeria. It was a political state job. We don't care for a cultural fabric underneath. One flag came with too many contradictions. Muslim caliphates ruled the north, merchants and monarchs around the west, while the east had deep art and spiritual systems. Especially all of that together under one name, just because of a river, ignored every layer of identity that already existed. The fire for freedom started sparking. Heavy hitters like Azikiwe, Amadu Bello, and Awolowo was stepped up. They mobilized, organized, and pressed for independence. And in 1960, they got it. That was Nigeria's big break. The whole country was buzzing. October 1st, 1960 came with the vibes. Flags waving, drums beating, hope rising. Folks were ready to write their own story. But the taste for freedom came with its own bitterness. Getting independence was one thing, managing it was another beast entirely. Soon after, folks in power started acting like Nigeria was some kind of hoe you can just snatch up whenever. They did it like it was a weekend booty call. Things got real messy real quick. In 1966, Nigeria caught its first military coup like a coup, and it was bloody as hell. They mocked the prime minister and a couple big names like it was Game of Thrones. Then in 1967, Biafra said, "We out," and Nigeria said, "Nah, you're not." Boom, civil war. It turned into a whole 3-year family fight, dragging till 1970, leaving the country bruised up. Millions of lives were lost, especially through the starvation and blockades. The pain from that war still lingers in the country's bones. It wasn't just a political fight, it was a national heartbreak. Unity got forced instead of grown, and that left cracks. After that, military boys kept on playing musical chairs with power. Coups flew left and right, president got swapped like SIM card. Leaders kept saying they were saving the country, while the country kept bleeding funds and faith. Some of these leaders dipped their hands in the oil money, living lavish while the people suffered. See, oil got discovered in Oloibiri, Bayelsa State, back in 1956. Black gold, they called it. By the time Nigeria hit a penny, that crude oil was looking at the new hustle. But instead of being a blessing, it turned into a cost real quick. The money that was supposed to build roads, hospitals, schools, and uplift the people got hijacked. Elites got fat of them oil contracts, while whole communities in Nigeria Delta were left drowning in pollution, poverty, and neglect. Fish dying in the rivers, air thick with smoke, kids playing next to gas flares like it's normal. Press freedom got shut down, basic rights got stripped, they promised order but delivered oppression, all while corruption kept growing muscles. Then the 90s hit. Nigeria was supposed to be stepping back into his third republic. The military talking about handing power to the people, letting democracy finally breathe. But man, shit happened. On June 12, 1993, MKO Abiola boarded the presidential election. Man won by a landslide. So clean, even haters had a clap. Dude was supposed to be the president, the face of Nigeria's big step into real democracy. But the military's head of state at that time, General Babangida, wasn't trying to give up power like that. Abiola was like, hell nah, and went ahead to declare himself president. Rumors were massive. It didn't even take long. My boy got snatched up and tossed in jail for treason. Babangida, feeling the heat from getting cooked deep, and handed the mic to an interim head of state, Eneshanekon. A man so temporary, he came with an expiration date. But I having a wild part, cause right after that, one of the most corrupt men in history took center stage. November 17, that same year, General Sani Abacha entered the chat. Brody rolled in the palace school and kicked out Shineko like he was the side chick, and wifey just pulled up in the driveway. He ruled with cold grip, straight out of the freezer. Fair held the streets, and speaking your mind became a luxury no one could afford. Abacha turned Nigeria into a dictatorship in disguise. Billions got looted, and people who spoke up disappeared. Still, the resistance never backed down. The pressure from the streets, the pen, and the diaspora finally shook things up. On June 8, 1998, Abacha died in the Asuro presidential villa. Some say he had an heart attack, while others swear he ate a poisoned apple like he's Snow White. But either ways, people just glad that nigga's dead. By 1999, democracy finally landed for real this time. Folks exhaled like they've been holding their breath since 83. Election came back, and the military boys went back into their barracks. But don't get it twisted, corruption impact his bags. Nah, it just changed outfits. Bad governance stayed locked in the background, from embezzlement to budget disappearance. Nigerians' money kept doing vanishing act like it's Houdini. Fast forward a bit to the early 2000s, Nigeria started facing significant threats from terrorist groups, mostly notably Boko Haram. They started popping up in the north in 2002, wilding out and swearing off Western education like it was a curse. But things didn't really go left till 2009, when they started hitting harder, bombing police stations and government spots. They was out here wilding, and then in 2014, they went and really messed up. They kidnapped 276 schoolgirls from Chibok. And that's when the whole world was like, hold up, what? The hashtag bring back our girls went viral. From there it just got worse. They took over parts of the north, spreading terror all through the northeast, and it ain't let up since. The government is trying to handle it, but it's still a damn mess, with civilians and soldier both caught up in the middle. And also, after Nigeria got internet, them gained a legendary Nigerian prince. Dude been sending emails since the early 2000s like, dear beloved, I need your help moving $10 million. Whole scam turned into a global meme. Now in the 21st century, Nigeria got oil money, Afrobeats taking over the globe, Nollywood making waves, and youth who don't play. Folks online, loud and proud. Even with inflation, chaos, and wahala, people stay building. Tech hubs are blowing up, protests like EndSARS showed power in numbers, and creatives still pushing the culture forward. Nigeria's next chapter is unwritten, but the pen is already in the hands of the people. Now put your hands where I can sell. Hit that subscribe button and drop any one of these. Don't play with me.